Hi guys, so today I am going to tell you about the basic introduction and about MD simulations, that how it works. So most of the time you go from different of the tutorials and all these, so I want to show about the very easy way to install the setup, to prepare the setup, and also that how you can initiate the molecular dynamic simulation using CHARMM-GUI and NAMD. So you can see this is a very beautiful and complex structure like protein, that how you run the molecular dynamics and what are the basic steps that you have. First you have to install the setup by using the this setup. So here you can see I just simply write about the download, and then you can see it depends upon your internet connection that how early you can download the setup. So NAMD, different setups are being used like Gromax, Ember and all that, so I will use the NAMD. And here you can select the Windows version because it also based on Linux also, so I will use the Windows like the CUDA and all. And here you can see you have to give your academic or the institutional ID to get registered, then you can download it freely. So now you can see it will be downloaded shortly. And once you select the NAMD, Ember, Gromax, whatever the setup, but remember that you have to be careful about the type, like the Windows and its compatibility with the CUDA for Windows, and for the Linux like Ubuntu for the GUI based on the GPU, because most of the compatibility depends upon the type of the setup that you install, like the 64 win, and also for some of the memory and the other linkages that backend are incorporated with the setup. So MD simulations basically incorporated with number of different cycles, like the most of the time that you can see about force field, and most of the people who already have this little introduction about this can understand this point. And also if you do not have any background of the bioinformatics and other, you can easily use these setups to run the molecular dynamic simulation that gives you detailed structural analysis, that how a protein get effect and what is the effect during simulation. You can get from the each step, like for example 50 nanoseconds, 20 nanoseconds, 100 nanoseconds, so it depends. So most of the practices are involved with the 50 or 100, even for the 20, but I would prefer 50 or 100, so that you can check the results after the simulation, that how your ligand with the protein and how your protein behaves, and how you work with the protein structural incidences and basic pharmacological or other toxicity and the drug related studies. You can use your results. So as you can see that still it's downloading, because I already mentioned it depends upon your internet connection, that how long it takes to download the setup. So most of the time you have to focus about the basic properties like the protein, ligand, and also the 3D structure predictions and all that. These are the basic steps to perform the molecular dynamic simulation if you are working with the protein ligand interaction and the protein interaction, or the protein behavior like the molecular pathways and all that. And most of the time you people can understand that how the dynamics of the simulation and how the dynamics of the structural bioinformatics actually work. So this is the core of the subject, and this you can see that most of the time people get confused, especially when you do not have much awareness about the setup, and also you get a lot of errors. So I prepared this tutorial for easy understanding and for the easy use that people can apply. So we are waiting for the downloading and all that. Most of the time in especially dry lab we get most of the time frustration due to the especially like the speed of your like system, like internet, like only. But remember one point, that this is part of research. Whenever you start anything, you are going to be present your work with small amount of data or small input energy, and finally you will enjoy that, how you perform your work and how you perform your analysis. So that's why it's kind of informal, like I am presenting, because my purpose is to make it interesting, and do not worry and do not take it like a burden when you start the molecular dynamics simulation studies. So yeah, so it's downloaded. Now you have to extract from the zip file, and once you extracted the zip file, just open the folder, and once the folder is open, then yeah, you can just run the exe file. Here you can see the exe file is being incorporated, and now I will just use the exe file to run. Here you can see run and wait for few seconds. Then you can check also that how it's being installed. You can open this command window after that, and just you have to just to cross check that whether it's installed or not. Sorry, NAMD2. Here you can just see that. Now you just focus on the preparation of the protein setup. For that, using the CHARMM-GUI that is online available, that is database that provide you amber force field analysis setup for the automatic preparation of the molecular dynamic simulation setup. So you select the input generator, and after that you have to go solution builder. After opening this tab, you can see this open upload file. So you can also select or extract from the PDB database if you have PDB ID. Just upload. I have already protein PDB, so upload, next step, and here you have to select the heat atoms. Then you have to select this option that I highlighted. It will give you the automatically generated model for the molecule. You select this option that I highlighted, and then it will start the browsing, and you have to wait. Here you can see the molecule. It's basically related to the ligand. And now you can proceed. After, it will take a while, it will take some time for a while, and then you have to move on to next step. So this step also depends upon how server is busy. I mean the CHARMM-GUI server is busy. And now in this tab you have to select this calculation for the solvent. Nothing to do any other thing, just select this option, the bottom one. Then next step, again it's browsing. Depends upon server as well as your internet connection. because number of people around the world are using the server to prepare their setup. So it depends upon the setup, and also depends upon the protein, that if you have too much big protein, then also it will take a lot of time. Once you complete this step, then you have to select for the next selection. As it's still browsing, you have to wait. And now you can see it will take time, because backhand it will apply number of parameters and server will take much time. I will just cut and reconnect this step to make the tutorial in short time. It depends upon your setup that how much it will take time. Now you have to select this option that I am highlighting for XYZ coordinates. Again you have to wait, and system is checking for the parameters. Most of the time it depends upon how the molecule is being interacted, like for the docked complex that you already performed the docking. But simulation can be performed without docking, but it's better that if you have to like your approach for the protein ligand, then you have to select this way. Now this is the point where you have to select the setup for which program you want to use, like NAMD or GROMACS, and also you have to select this CHARMM-36 like force field, because this is the most recognized. It depends, also you can use the other option, but I preferred based on the literature. So NAMD and GROMACS if you like. So these two I am selecting, and also here you have to select the temperature value. So 300 is recommended for my protein structure. This is the almost last step. After this, the complete setup will be prepared by the CHARMM-GUI, and you can download it. Here you can see the zip file will be downloaded shortly. You have to wait for compressing, as well as again depends upon the internet connection. Now again have to extract the zip file, open the folder, and you can assign the name whatever you like. For example, in my case I would assign the name for the zebrafish HCN4 protein. And most of the time you have to focus on the respective name of the file, because sometimes you get confused if you are running more than one simulations. Now here you have to check the str file. Here you have to check the value for the respective parameter. I show you. It's basically for the coordinates like the amber force field recognition, that it will execute the simulation. So here is the value like I copy, then come into the NAMD folder. This is NAMD folder. Now step 4 and step 5, two files basically you have to run. So first I will edit the step 4. You have to perform two editings. The first, remove this. This is not related for the NAMD. You have to remove this. Once you removed, now you have to paste the same values that you copied from the str file. Here the dollar sign you can see, you have to remove the dollar sign and write the value. Similarly for this coordinate, and then for the last one is mostly of the 0, because you are starting from the initial step, that mostly from the 0 1. Now the step 4 is completed for the execution. You have to cross check, because I think the value was so I corrected. Now it's done. And after that you have to run the simulation for step 4. Here is the command. The commands NAMD2 you can get from the same server, and I already have this, so I will use this step 4 command. Open the command window, paste the path of the folder NAMD1, then paste the command, here you can see the folder path issue. Now when you will run, the step 4 is being execution. Here you can see your simulation is perfectly started. This is step 4. Now for the step 5, you do not have to proceed directly to step 5. You have to wait till the step 4 is completed. It will take time. I just did cut down to make the tutorial, but in reality you have to wait till step 4 is completed. It depends upon your routine. Here is the step 5 for the that I just did edit for the time. You have to check the time. For example, this value that is predefined by the setup, you have to convert into the number of nanosecond, at how much nanosecond you want to run. Here you can see I did select the value and copy and paste. Now run the step 5. Here you can see I did run the step, and you can see the number of hours. It depends upon how long and your setup and how long your simulation is started. Now this is very critical. Resume and start the simulation if your program is crashed, or your power supply is disturbed, or some other issue, or your Windows restart. So that was a hell of challenge for me, so I did edit this part also. Here is the simple, you just have to change this. The previous one was step 4 and 5. Now this will be step 6 and then step 5, because you have to resume the simulation. So you will followed by the previous step 6 and step 5 respectively. And also these are the files that are already in the step 5, so you just have to add restart in these 3. lines you will add this and then save. And again you have to check the time, that how much it was left, and then you can check the already performed simulation by using VMD analysis. That is another part, but here you will just I'm just showing that how you will resume. Like for example, you have to run this simulation to resume and then change the time. Here you edit menu and then again save it and then again run the step 5 command. Your simulation is resumed. Thank you.